morning, dear students. Good morning to each one of you. Okay, so dear students, kindly confirm me with the text if I am audible to you. So if I am audible to you, kindly text me quickly so that I can begin my lesson today. Good morning, Saurav, Manajay, Nandini, Athar, Saurav. Thank you so much, Asmita, Tanvi, Priyanshu, Dukshada, Pranati, Achal. Good morning to each one of you, dear students. So let's begin our lesson today. So today we are going to learn Nelson Mandela. This is the second chapter of your syllabus. So Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. Okay. So let's find out what is this lesson all about. So dear students, this lesson is about the system of political system called apartheid. So what is an apartheid? Let's find out. Apartheid is a political system that separates people according to their race, right? So apartheid is a political system where there is a differentiation among people on the basis of the skin color, on the basis of the religion, etc. That is what is called apartheid, right? So it was existent or it was existed in South Africa till recently, okay, when Nelson Mandela put an end to this racial political system called apartheid, right? It was Nelson Mandela who was responsible to to bring this particular uh, political system of differentiation among people to an end. So we shall learn how he has brought apartheid to an end. We shall learn from this lesson. This is an extract from his autobiography Long Walk to Freedom. Okay, here Mandela speaks about a historic occasion, the inauguration, right? Inauguration. So let's read out this piece of information so that we understand more about Nelson Mandela and Mandela, how he became the first black president of South Africa. Okay, so dear students, see, Nelson Mandela has become South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule. So, before Nelson Mandela took over as the black president of South Africa, he was the first black president of South Africa. Uh, till he took over as a black president, South Africa was ruled by white government, the white government for more than 3 centuries. Can you imagine? For more than 3 centuries means for more than 300 years, South Africa was ruled by the white uh, government, right? You might be knowing like in United States also you can find black community, white community, and even though officially this discrimination in the basis of color is not there, but still it does exist. You might have seen some days before, like with Floyd, Mr. Floyd, what happened? He was a black, so he was choked to death by the white, police, right? The trial is going on in the United States now. So even though it is not there officially, but in some countries, like what we have seen few months before in America, it does exist. This differentiation, that discrimination between black and white, still does exist in many parts of the country, if not officially, but at least it does exist. Okay, here and there. Okay, so Nelson Mandela was the first black president, South Africa's first black president, okay, after more than 3 centuries of white rule. Mr. Mandela's African National Congress party won 252 of the 400 seats in the first democratic elections of South Africa's history. and it was also the first democratic elections, right, in South Africa's history. And Nelson Mandela belonged to a political party called African National Congress, which is otherwise called ANC, African National Congress. And in the election, in the first democratic elections, his party, that is ANC, got 252 out of 400 seats. Okay, therefore they have won the election, first democratic election, and as a result, Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa. The inauguration ceremony took place in the Union Buildings Amphitheatre in Pretoria today, attended by politicians and dignitaries from more than 140 countries around the world. So, dear students, the inauguration ceremony, because it was the first ever celebration of democracy in South Africa, right? In the true spirit, democracy does not differentiate between among people. Democracy does not cause any kind of rift or any kind of separation among people, right? But white government used to do a lot of discrimination, separation, and all that. Therefore, when Nelson Mandela became the president, black president of the first democratic elections of South Africa, all the people, like many people, many renowned politicians came, many renowned dignitaries, delegates came for more than 140 countries to attend South Africa's celebration of democracy, right? So this is what Nelson Mandela has to say. He said more than politicians and dignitaries from more than 140 countries around the world came to attend the inauguration ceremony, okay, of Nelson Mandela being the first black president of South Africa. Never again will this beautiful land experience the oppression of one by another, said Nelson Mandela in his address. And in his inaugural address, Nelson Mandela said that never again this beautiful country means this South Africa will have any oppression of one people by another. There will not be any oppression, discrimination from now onwards on the soil of South Africa. That is what he says. Jubilant scenes on the streets of Pretoria. Jubilant scenes on the streets of Pretoria followed the ceremony with blacks, whites, and color reds celebrating together. Okay, so after Nelson Mandela won the election, so all the people, uh, all the people came down to the streets of Pretoria, okay, to celebrate the victory of Nelson Mandela and the restoration and the celebration of democracy, right? More than 100,000 South African men, women, and children of all races sang and danced with joy. Okay, more than 1 lakh South African men, women, and children came onto the street, and they sang and they danced with joy because Nelson Mandela has become the first black president of South Africa, and as a celebration, I mean, in order to give him tribute for his victory, okay, so many people of South African origin, I mean, people from South Africa came down to the streets of Pretoria and different other cities as well to show their joy and to celebrate the victory of the but democracy. Okay, now let's move on to the story. That was the uh, that was the introduction, dear students. Okay, so I hope you have understood till that point, till that introduction point. I think you were able to understand, right? Okay. Uh, okay. So I hope now. I mean, I hope you understood the introduction part of the story, right? introduction part. What is this story? What is this story going to be? Right now, let's begin the lesson. 10th May dawned bright and clear. For the past few days, see, for the past few days, I had been pleasantly besieged by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. Okay, so for the past few days, Nelson Mandela had been surrounded, pleasantly besieged. Matlab, pleasantly besieged means he was surrounded, right? He was surrounded by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. Okay, inauguration of Nelson Mandela. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. So this inauguration is the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. It means this inauguration ceremony of Nelson Mandela was attended by many people from around the country, and it was the largest gathering ever on the soil of South Africa. Okay, that is what Nelson Mandela says. That is what Nelson Mandela says. Okay. Um, The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheater formed by the Union buildings in Pretoria. Okay, the ceremonies took place. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheater formed by the Union buildings in Pretoria. Okay, so it took place inside an auditorium, inside a big auditorium, which is amphitheater. Okay, in Union buildings in Pretoria. For decades, these Indian buildings is the parliament, actually, you can say. Okay, like we have parliament, so their parliament. Inside their parliament, the inauguration ceremony took place. Okay, what is the meaning of amphitheater? You see a building without a roof with many rows of seats rising in steps, typical of ancient Greece and Roman. Okay, so this amphitheater, their parliament, you can say. Okay, for decades this had been the seat of white supremacy, and now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. Okay, so for decades, this Union building, this amphitheater has been the seat of white supremacy. White government used to rule from there, and now it is a site of rainbow gathering of different colors. Why this particular building has been referred to as rainbow gathering of different colors and nations? Because so many people from different countries came, of different religions, different languages, came to attend the inauguration ceremony of Nelson Mandela. That is why the writer here, Nelson Mandela, says that now this Union buildings in Pretoria has become a seat of the site of rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. Okay, so it was South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. Okay, white government was racial government, and but Nelson Mandela's government is non-racial government, right? So on that lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zanani. On the podium, Mr. D. Clark was first sworn on as second deputy president. Then Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. When it was my turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the republic and its people. To the assembled guests and the watching world, I said. So now Nelson Mandela will speak to the assembled guests and the watching world. Watching world means his program was being telecast live in so many countries. That is why watching world, right? So dear students, now is it okay? My voice is okay. If it is loud and clear, let me know, dear students. Okay. If my voice is loud and clear, please let me know so that I can continue with my lesson. Okay. Now you see, today all of us do by our presence here confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. Right? So, when Nelson Mandela took over um, to to give his speech, to deliver his speech, he said, "Today, all of us, by our presence here, confer means give glory and hope to newborn liberty. The democracy, newborn democracy is called newborn liberty, out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster." So, what is extraordinary human disaster that Mandela refers to here? It was an extraordinary human disaster because the white government before him used to discriminate people based on their skin color, as a result of which the black community of people had suffered a lot. There were a lot of sacrifices, there were a lot of struggles on the part of the black people to get democracy, to achieve freedom of living, freedom of speech, freedom of moving around in the country. So for their struggle, they have lost many lives. Okay, many lives were lost, and there was untold suffering. There was immense suffering. Um, you know, uh, when the black community was discriminated by the white government. Therefore, Therefore, Nelson Mandela refers to the suffering of the black community people in the hands of the white government is what is called extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long. Must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. Then he's saying a society must be born of whom all humanity should be proud. Okay, now that we have experienced extraordinary human disaster, so many black people have sacrificed their life, but now that I am there, I hope to hope to give birth to a society, okay, in which all humanity will be proud, of which all humanity will be proud. Right. So here, Nelson Mandela assures the people of South Africa in front of the visiting dignitaries from many countries around the world that now onwards the people of South Africa will will see a kind of a political system where there is no discrimination on the basis of skin color, on the basis of languages, on the basis of religions, on the basis of nationalities, etc. Right? So he is giving promise to the people of his country that now onwards South Africa will be born, okay, out of which all humanity will be proud. Not only the people of South Africa will be proud of the new South of Africa, but also the people of the world who will be proud of a newborn South Africa where there is no political discrimination, there is no racial discrimination, right? So okay, thank you so much. Okay, okay. Now you see here. Let's continue. Uh, yes. Now let's continue. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. Nelson Mandela says that we who were outlaws means outlaws. What is the meaning of outlaws? Outlaws means um, many countries had earlier broken off diplomatic relations with South Africa. Why diplomatic relations? Because South Africa was ruled by the white government, uh, which uh, which was very discriminatory in nature, which is to discriminate between the black and white. That is why South Africa became the outlaws South Africa were the outlaws. No country supported South Africa. No country extended cooperation to South Africa because South Africa was governed by the white government, which resorted to political discrimination, discrimination on the basis of race, caste, language, nationality, etc. Right? So that is what Nelson Mandela mentions now, that we who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be the host to the nations of the world on our own soil. Right? He says that till recently we were outlaws, but now we have the privilege, we have the rare privilege to be the host of all the nations of the world in on our own soil. Means he means to say that he is proud to get all the dignitaries of the whole nations, of all the nations. Okay, to he it is his privilege to to get the presence, esteemed presence of the uh, world leaders in South Africa. We thank all of our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. So, dear students, what does a common victory refer to here? It is very important. Sometimes it comes in the examination as well. What is a common victory? Dear students, always remember that here, common victory refers to the uh, common victory refers to the abolishment of the racial government, that is the white government. So now that racial government, there is a white government is now outthrown. Okay, um, now that racial government, that is the white government, is not there in South Africa. So this is a common victory for justice, for peace, and for human dignity. For why it's a common victory? Because this is a victory, the benefit of which will be achieved by many countries, not only South Africa. That is why common victory. Common why? Because other countries will also get benefit out of the restoration of democracy in South Africa, right? Because there will be no discrimination, there will be no violence. Okay, there will be peace everywhere, there will be justice everywhere. So it is a common victory because common why? Because it is a victory not only for the people of South Africa but also for the people of the neighboring nations or the people of the nations around the world, because they too also protested against the racial form of government in South Africa before the before the before Nelson Mandela came to power. Right. So that is why it is referred to as a common victory, because it is victory not only for South Africa but for all the nations of the world who fought against apartheid, who protested against eradication of racial discrimination from the soil of South Africa. Now that it is gone, that is why it's a common victory for all the nations, not only for South Africa, and that is what Nelson Mandela refers to here as common victory. So Nelson Mandela says it is a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. Now, he said, we have achieved our political emancipation. What does emancipation means? Freedom from restrictions. So now there is a lot of political freedom there with us, and therefore Nelson Mandela he pledged matlab he makes a promise. Now he makes a promise to liberate all his people, all the people of South Africa, from the continuing bondage of poverty. Okay, from poverty, he swears or he promises to the people of the people of South Africa, that he would liberate them. Okay, he would liberate them from poverty, from deprivation, from suffering, and from gender and other discrimination. There was also gender discrimination at that time. So now that Nelson Mandela has come to power, the democracy has been restored. That is why he promises to the people that I shall liberate you, all of you, from all kind of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other kind of discrimination. Deprivation means state of not having one's rightful benefits. Okay, that is what is deprivation all about. Deprivation means if you are deprived of your rights, then it is called deprivation. Okay, so suppose black community, white community is having some privilege in the society, um, which the black community is not having. White community is having, but black community is not having those facilities. Then black communities are deprived. We can say black communities are deprived. So that is why deprivation is all about. And Nelson Mandela promises here that he will liberate all his people from suffering, from poverty, from all kind of gender and other discrimination. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. And then he promises to the people, okay, watching people, to the people present there, that from that time onwards there will not be any discrimination, okay, of one community by another in this beautiful land. In this beautiful land means in South Africa. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. He says that the sun will always keep rising, it will never set on such a glorious nation like South Africa, on such a glorious human achievement. It's an achievement like the winning of the victory of African National Congress in the election, and and Nelson Mandela's becoming the first black president is a kind of a human achievement, glorious human achievement. So that is what he points to, that sun will never set on this beautiful land of South Africa on such a glorious human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. And then he says, let freedom continue. God bless South Africa. And this is his inauguration speech in Union Buildings in Pretoria. Okay, Indian Buildings is the Parliament of South Africa, where Nelson Mandela gave his first speech in front of the people who were present. All the dignitaries from around the world came to celebrate South Africa's democracy, as well as the watching people who were watching on television. To everyone, he has promised that he would remove the suffering and discrimination of all the people of his country. And then he also makes a declaration that the sun will never set on so glorious a human achievement, okay, in such a beautiful country like South Africa. And then he says, let freedom reign, God bless Africa, right? And this is how he ends his speech. Okay, so dear students, we have come to the end of our class today. Before I wind up, you please check your attendance. I'm sending it here. Please mark your attendance. This is 10A attendance, and attendance will close at 9:35. Okay, attendance will close at 9:35. So within 9:35, you need to give your attendance. Now I'll post for 10B. This is for 10B. Okay. Thank you, Asmita and Risti. Thank you so much. Um, so the first link is 10A, and the second link is 10B. Okay. Okay. You keep giving your attendance, dear students. Attendance will be counted till 9:35 for today, right? So you cannot afford to be late. Now that I have already finished you the lecture, you can start giving your attendance. All of you, please give your attendance, because if you give your attendance, only then like attendance will be counted towards the end of the month. Therefore, every month you need to be present uh, for okay. So in order to assure 75% attendance, you need to be present on a regular basis. Okay. So that's all for the day, dear students. Tomorrow I shall continue with the lesson, that is Nelson Mandela. We shall finish it off in another 2 days. It's a big chapter. It's a long chapter. Okay. So we shall wind it up in another 2 days. Right. 2 to 3 days I require to wind up this lesson. And this story is a part of your first flight, which is your main textbook. Okay, after this lesson gets over, I shall start the first chapter of your supplementary reader, that is first flight. Footprints without footprints without feet. Let me finish this chapter, and then I shall start the first chapter of supplementary reader. Okay, I have also a like concept video on this chapter, which I shall forward you later on, because let me first finish this. Towards the end of this lesson, I shall send you the concept video of this lesson. Okay, and you shall read with me. Uh, don't read in advance at home. We shall read together in our live class. Okay. So, dear students, that's it for the day. Okay. Thank you so much for your esteemed presence, and please do come on a regular basis. Please also register your attendance, okay, which is very important, right? Because we need to submit the attendance to principal sir towards the end of the month, every month. Therefore, you need to not only come here but also mark your attendance. Okay. So thank you so much, dear students. Bye bye. Take care and have a nice day.